Hello, Davide. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. We're here today. We're here to talk about your specialty, your expertise, which is helping frustrated office workers in their teams. And what is one of the biggest frustrations that you've come across?
So, yes, we recently launched this initiative. We're asking all our followers, our subscribers, to send us a private message about their biggest frustration with their team. And we have, we hear so many stories from the subscribers, but also from our clients, obviously, that we work with. And typical frustrations are, look, the typical frustration is that teams don't feel. You can see your team is made of like excellent, outstanding individuals, but they don't gel, or as a team they don't express the full potential that they have. So you have people, you have problems with communication, you have excessive politeness, and people don't challenge each other, they don't challenge decisions. You have maybe not really team focused ways to handle mistakes. There's finger pointing. The atmosphere can feel sometimes very professional in a cold way,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so all the conversations stay on the surface, and you don't really hear everything that is going on, and egos involved. I mean, there's so many ways that the relationships, the behaviors between people in the team doesn't is not like optimal,
Yeah.
and
And
uh,
what kind
and
of
it gets in the
results?
way. Eh?
Sorry, what kind of results does that produce in meetings, in teams?
Well, you have all sorts of problems depending on what the challenge or the hurdle is inside the team. So today I'd like to share one example specifically.
Hmm.
And I'm sure everybody's had this experience before. You go to a meeting and you make a decision. It looks like everybody's on is bought in and agreed. Everybody has some actions, and then we leave the meetings, and things don't quite happen at the speed that you were expecting. And then you wonder, okay, what is happening here? So what is happening there, and this is what I like to talk about today, is what we call quiet resistance. So at the meeting, people say yes. It looks like everybody nods. It looks like everybody agrees with the decision. But then what is happening is actually that some of them, at least, they don't.
Hmm.
And then when it's their time to take some action and contribute to the decision, then they drag their feet. But they do it in a quiet way. So you don't really know. You realize later that things are going slower, or so it's very dangerous because you actually have no evidence of it. And I'll give an example. Like a company we worked with, they made a decision to focus on a certain client, focus their sales and marketing efforts on a certain client, a certain ICP, ideal client profile. And so they had to change. They had to align all the LinkedIn messages, the outreach, the website, all the messages and the stories that had to be crafted around the new client. Everybody agreed, and the company starts actually doing everything, like creating the content for the right content for the client, sending the emails, but the website is not updated. And then it's like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the website still doesn't get updated.
Hmm.
And then at some point, obviously, the situation explodes, and you start realizing, okay, what is happening here, and then you try and probe the people that are in charge of updating the website, and then he comes out and say, oh yeah, there is, and then they tell you the concerns they have about the idea and the new decision made, but they tell you like a month later. And even in that case, then you have a conversation. Maybe it looks like, okay, everything is agreed, and then the website doesn't get updated again for another month. This is a real story, by the way.
So
Yeah.
what can be done to help with that, to improve the situation, improve that dynamic?
So the way we work at Wise Humanity is we go into a team and we highlight that we make an assessment of everyone, how the team is operating, or their dynamics health, and or the team dynamic health, and we share the report with everybody, so everybody knows what we're going to talk about at that workshop, and then we go to the workshop and talk about quiet resistance, for example, or not sharing the ideas, not sharing concerns, and the damage that it can create to the company. And we try to normalize the opposite behavior. So focus on discussing and tackling and removing all the emotional obstacles that stop us. If I disagree with something, stop me from sharing my disagreement. And then we turn all these obviously. I mean, everybody obviously agrees because everybody knows that you should share your concerns at a meeting. And then what we do is we turn that into micro habits and our actionable emotional intelligence tools. And for example, if you want, there are so many possible micro habits to help a team, every team member surface concerns. We worked with a company recently, and an executive team, and for example, they decided that if a decision is unanimous, it's not a decision.
I like
They
that.
do not accept. Yeah, that's it. They're in the their micro habit now. There is to not allow unanimous decisions. If it's unanimous, it means that they are they have blind spots, or someone hasn't shared their concerns, so they just stop and they don't accept any decision like that. This is kind of radical, but there's other more simpler tools that teams can use. One, for example, is that I like a lot, is called pre-mortem, and the team makes a decision, or apparently makes a decision that apparently it's discussed. Apparently, everybody agrees. Okay, so the decision is, we're changing our client. We're gonna focus in the next few months. We're gonna focus on this new type of client, on this new client profile, and then the pre-mortem micro habit is asking the question. Okay, so the project has a 3 months duration. Let's put ourselves 3 months from now, and assume that it actually failed. So the question is, what went wrong?
I like that.
So at the meeting where we make the decision to focus on a different client or on a specific client, our marketing and sales for the next 3 months, we've decided who we're going to focus on. I don't know, professional services. And then if I'm leading the team, or if I'm the champion of that decision, I ask everyone, okay, let's put ourselves in 3 months from now, and the decision was a mistake. The project failed. What went wrong? That's it. Simple question. And everybody has to answer. So this gives an opportunity to everyone. Well, this is a fantastic tool because, first of all, it focuses the whole team on understanding risk better, which is something that sometimes escapes us, especially in unanimous decisions. We're all like excited about a project. We all maybe think alike, and then we focus on, we embrace a new strategic idea, and we don't look at actually the potential risks. So first of all, that's that. The other thing is that it helps everyone. It gives space to everyone to share their concerns if they have. So they don't need to go through that awkward moment where you need to raise your hand and say, hello team, I know you all agree, but I don't. And even in a very in a team where with a lot of psychological safety and where everybody's used to challenging each other, it's still a bit of an awkward moment, the moment where 6 people of your team are in favor of an idea and you're not. So this pre-mortem little tool normalizes the fact that everybody needs to share their concerns. And so everybody says, okay, what is a risk from their point of view? So in the example that I'm sharing about changing sales and marketing direction, a risk could be, if we only focus on professional services may not be the right target, in my opinion. So let me give you an example there. For example, so everybody has the opportunity now to share their concerns and possibly the risks. And so, for example, in our example, the company that decided to focus for the next 3 months to focus their sales and marketing efforts on professional services. So they target professional service firms, and at the beginning nobody seemed to disagree, and then but with a pre-mortem question, okay, imagine that in 3 months we realized that this was a mistake. What went wrong? And so someone says, for example, the cost of acquisition of a client in professional services is higher because they have specific governance rules, and that implies that we need to check and possibly make some modifications in our products so that we can meet their governance requirements. And then there are other people sharing other risks. So first of all, now everybody has had a chance, formally has had a chance to share their concerns. The team is aware of more insights. Now, what do we do with them? And so the other tool that we recommend in these situations is what we call the guardrail metric. And so basically the team takes the most credible or biggest risk among those discussed and turns it into a metric.
Oh, well,
now when we when we make a decision, particularly when it's unanimous, obviously we know what we decide, who has to do what, action plan, and success metrics. And so in this case, for example, in 3 months, our target is to have acquired, 30 new professional clients in professional services. And that's a success metric. So you measure how many clients you're acquiring day by day, etc. Also, and in many cases, like sales, for example, the process is never linear because when you start a campaign, then you see the results of the campaign around the end of the campaign. And so in this case, you'll know if you're successful or not in 3 months. But with the guardrail metric, now the team has one more tool, and they say, okay, the biggest risk that we have discussed is the cost of acquisition of a client in professional services. It might be a lot higher than we're used to. So we turn that into a metric, and we start measuring and the cost of acquisition. Now, the information is already there. I mean, we know that every client has a cost of acquisition, but given the way we made the decision, without the guardrail metric, maybe we wouldn't have monitored that with the same attention. So now what we're doing now is, okay, we have a metric saying, okay, if the cost of acquisition reaches a certain value, then we reconvene and rediscuss the decision. We stop and we reconsider. And we may, and then again, we may decide to continue, we may decide not to continue, but the point is that the people who had this concern, they feel listened to, and the team has a stronger insight into their strategy, their strategic decision. They have more metrics that fire well before 3 months, because the cost of acquisition of a client you will know in a week.
Yeah.
So everybody now. So even the people who disagreed, so the quietly resistant people, now feel listened to, and they also feel that their dissent is actually carried forward inside the decision through the guardrail metric. So they feel, and this is what most people actually need when they disagree with something. They don't always need to, the whole team to always follow what they think. But it's important for them to feel listened to, and now they're listened to, and their concerns are still inside the decision, even if the team decided to go in a different direction from what they thought, and so now they feel more empowered to do all they can to make the team successful and follow and take all the actions that they agreed to and follow everyone else towards the professional services target, because they know that even if their concern is real, there is a metric that will fire and it will tell the whole team, let's stop. This is to avoid the typical situation, I told you so.
Yeah.
And because how many times
Yeah.
we disagree with something and then we passively say yes, we don't proactively engage in the decision made, and then later we say, oh, I told you so, when it fails. So we want to avoid that. So
Exactly. It's not a very healthy dynamic when it comes to how the team works and interactions, and it creates kind of distrust between all different parties. So the people in charge of the decision feel like the team isn't living up to their potential, perhaps, or isn't really involved, or isn't enthusiastic enough, and the members of the team feel like they're not heard. So it's amazing with some small changes, how it can completely change the dynamic of that decision making. Plus, it sounds like the decision will be a lot more robust in the long run, because you have these guardrail metrics that actually are these different stops along the way where you can check whether or not are we on the train to disaster. Is this going well? Are we on the right track? So that is very good. Thank you for sharing that.
And we always talk about, so everything I've been sharing here, it's kind of logical and easy to and relatable. The bit where we also add a focus is the measurement of the impact of these changes, because it's always a bit difficult to measure the impact of a behavior. And so let me give you a few examples of it specific to this case. Because in the initiative that we launched, we're asking people to share one big frustration that they have with the team, and we promise to send them in return two emotional intelligence behavior, two rituals that they can introduce in their daily workflows, and also a cost and ROI estimate. Now, in this case, think of quiet resistance. We can look at it from different angles. So first of all, there's lots of studies in general on across several industries and company sizes, etc. And the cost of quiet resistance is 20% of productivity. So 20% of productivity means that if you're, I don't know, think of a team of 7 people and a total team budget, yearly budget of 500K, 20% is 100K. So quiet resistance costs 20% of your yearly budget. And but we can look at it from a different angle as well. Like if you think of a team of 7, having quiet resistance means, easily it can mean to have, the equivalent of a team of 6.
Yeah.
If you think about across the year, all the decisions you make, all the action plans that you should follow up on, and having quiet resistance in the team easily is like having one person less in the team. A team of 7 means that what's that? Like 15% less. So out of a budget of 500K, that's over 70K, and so that, which is not too far from that 100. Another way to look at it is, again, if you have 500K of yearly budget, there are 48 working weeks in a year, so that's over basically every week costs just over 10K. And how much delay does quiet resistance introduce? Per decision, at least a couple of weeks, at least. Now, how many key decisions does a team take in a year? Key strategic decision, 6 in a year, one every other month. So 6 decisions, 2 weeks delay per decision. That's 12 weeks delay, and 12 weeks delay is over 120K of productivity impact. So whichever angle we look at it, we get into a figure that is between 70, so like 15% or 25% of your annual budget. That's the cost of quiet resistance. And so even if you halve it, I'm not saying that you remove it completely, but even if you halve it, there's a huge return of your investment that that can go between 7 to 13% of your yearly budget, and that's just the cost on productivity. I'm not considering the business cost of delaying a decision or an action, because of course, if you're losing clients, or if you're signing the wrong contracts, or if you're delivering the wrong product, if you're developing the wrong product, you have additional costs, damages because of that. But just in terms of productivity, it's already between 15 and 25% of your yearly budget.
Yeah,
the cost
it makes such a difference, right? I presume this is something you've seen in a lot of companies already. I know from my experience, I have seen it in a lot of companies where I work. So it seems to be quite a common dynamic.
And it's funny because so it's quite common. The core principle is quite common, and then the cause is always different. And again, it might be too much politeness. It might be that the level of trust and belonging and psychological safety in the team is not amazing, which are actually quite different reasons. If you think about it, quite the opposite. In one case, it's because I don't trust my team too much. That's why I don't share what my concerns. In the other case, it's because I actually like them too much, and I don't want to. And I really care for our relationship, and then I don't share any challenge. So they're like very extremely different reasons, but the impact ultimately is the same. So quiet resistance, not sharing, not challenging each other, not sharing concerns, saying yes, but not being completely bought into the decisions that we make. It's very common.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you for sharing this. This has been very, very insightful, and I'm looking forward to hearing more different frustrations and what your answer is to this.
Yeah, so am I. So if you listening to this and you got to the end,
Yeah.
send us, send us your. We only need to, we only need to know your industry and what is your biggest frustration with the team at the moment, and we return two rituals that you can embed into your workflows, and a cost ROI estimation of the impact of not doing it or doing it. Of course, this is a high level, and it may be not right for your team because it's only based on one sentence that you're going to send us. But we really want to make sure that people feel that emotional intelligence can be very practical, and can make a massive practical difference on the success of or failure of a team or a company, and that's exactly what humanity does: improve in practice.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right,
you,
we'll speak
Mark.
soon. Bye
Very
bye.
soon.